We're
I
live.
may have to
Okay.
leave.
Hey, welcome
I may.
everybody. This is another 2024 League of Dracula game. We got Strider656 up against Skybreaker96, and this is Captain Gyro, of course, coming at you. And today I'm joined by Fangs of Fire. Say hello, Fangs of Fire. Greet the nice people.
Uh, hello, everyone. I may have to leave partway through as I have my own game in 2 hours,
Okay,
but
excellent.
but,
And on
but
my
we'll see.
right-hand side is Pizza Wizard. Are you there, Pizza Wizard?
I'm here and happy to be here. Happy to be here. I think it's gonna be an exciting game.
Heck yeah. Good, good, good. Ready to have some fun. Who are you playing next, Fangs of Fire, you're saying?
I'm playing. I'm going to be playing Mr. Green. I
Okay,
have already played
nice.
both my games with Scott Sword. Uh,
He's a tough cookie, that Mr. Green. Good luck.
I shall need it. Yes, I'm playing my stronger side,
You
Drac,
playing next, Fire?
first, which as of yet I am undefeated. When it comes to the Drac games, and my losses have
Nice.
been Hunters. It So far, at least. And we'll see if Mr. Green's the first one to successfully hunt me down this tournament.
Heck yeah. So as far as Strider and Skybreaker, their last
Oh
game,
wow.
Skybreaker won.
Well, Strider's in a good position to win if you look at Mina's hand there.
Let me
That's a
guess,
good
she just
J1
revealed
draw.
CG. Classic. Classic.
Yeah.
Well, at least Dracula won't be scratching his head about whether or not they have it.
They always have it.
Yeah, you might as
always
well just assume. Oh, wow, that's a great draw. Great draw.
Yeah. Well,
To be sure.
I was very excited going into this game because I want Skybreaker to win because Skybreaker he's a cool guy and I feel like he hasn't had the best luck so far, but I am in the Skybreaker camp. I think he deserves this win. We'll see if he can secure
Yeah,
it.
from what I know for Sky, I mean Sky was one of my opponents the first round. I defeated him both of our times, but he managed to pull one win off of Strider last time. I think it was also whoever was Dracula wins that game in between those two. I don't recall, but
Uh, Skybreaker won as Dracula. Yeah.
okay. In which
So,
case, yeah,
so
whoever
we
was
have a
Dracula
rematch of
won
that.
of yeah, and also and then from what I've heard, he just straight out won his second round, 4-0 with whoever those were.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
that's incredible.
Yeah, from what I mean, otherwise you wouldn't have 5 wins.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
only
what
got
I was saying when I said that he didn't do very well. I didn't realize he'd won more than 50% of his
well,
game prior to this.
he didn't do so well in the first round. Sure,
That's maybe what
I
I
mean
was
it's
thinking of.
true.
Yeah, but
Since I mean, but apparently that was mostly because I was there.
yeah,
Question.
don't call it a comeback. He was never really gone, folks. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got Arukamania in the
But
stream. Welcome, Aruk. Good to hear from you,
eh,
buddy. Hope you're having fun. This should be a good
yeah,
one.
this is gonna be a good match, and hopefully likewise with the match I shall have later.
Now you gotta get that consecrated ground off of Mina, right?
Um, once you have something else that's really not worth hiding, like a
Yeah.
blood transfusion, good luck,
You want to
something
remove
along
it
those
from her
lines.
without giving Dracula more information, right? But you
Without
also
remove
don't want to
more,
night
all more.
supply or have a hoax go through and then vampiric influence costs you your CG. So you got to take care of it sooner rather than later. Because
That is true.
if you
Oh,
if you're
well,
too busy worrying about it later, you might have other problems by then.
interesting.
By the
Oh, he's
by
searching
that
with
time.
Jonathan Harker. Wait,
There's
didn't you just check
probably
Galloway and Dublin
probably
with those
has
scouts?
newspaper reports. I
I
missed
don't
where the
know.
scouts went.
I didn't see where the scouts went either.
I know I saw clearly that you checked Dublin with scouts.
Mm,
Did I misread that you checked Galway? Huh.
Hold on, we're gonna
Who drew the
quickly.
scouts? I can scrub
I'm
through.
I
Yeah,
think it
I'm
was.
rewatching
Godalming
the stream right
Godalming
now.
had scouts and he searched. Hang on, I'm scrubbing through the footage. He searches
Cadiz and
Cadiz and
Granada.
Granada.
Ah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So
whoops.
then Jonathan
Uh,
Harker searches Ireland. Okay.
yeah.
I approve of the Spain search.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, he's using the Pizza Wizard setup right now, and I approve of the Spain search. I think it's very important if you're going to do this that you check Spain. I think that was good.
Yeah. But what if Dracula went from Madrid to Alicante?
True. I mean, he didn't get everything, but he can get to Alicante in one space from Bordeaux. So even if he only finds them with like a day 5 newspaper, you should hopefully be able
Right.
to
You
get
could
there.
take the correct train and get there.
Take the best form of transportation available,
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah. The coal-powered horse wagon.
Mhm. The steam horse, yes.
So you're in for Sky over Strider? Honestly, I feel kind of similar, if for no other reason than Strider won New Blood. So as there has been some share, let's have some new winners.
Understandable. Yeah.
Which means, piece of wizard, that you are disappointing, folks.
I'm disappointing folks.
He's saying you need to be dethroned.
What? Look, I've already done my share of dethroning this tournament. I think my dethroning arc is over. It's only wins from here on out. I don't know what happened that we don't have a record, but it's behind us now. Okay, we're looking forward. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rukamania, I bet you didn't know that Dracula was actually part of the steampunk genre, but it is. Very much so.
He thinks he's in Athens. What Rukamania is saying.
Yeah, yeah. We should take a flying steam wagon there. Yeah. The train doesn't go there, unfortunately. Maybe like a steam-powered submarine.
You get to Adriatic and you excellent weather over to
Right,
Ionian on a steamboat. Yeah.
Well, in the book, actually, steamboats used to go upriver were a much larger part of the story. There's a significant section where they.
Wouldn't it be amusing? Wouldn't it be amusing if there were rivers in the map and there were different forms of sailing?
I've played Root. That game has rivers on the map. It's just a whole nother layer of complex. Like, imagine how complex this game is with roads and rails. If we had rivers, the 3 R's, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind if there was like one event card maybe that was like steam barge or like river barge or something like that, just to reflect that being in the book, and then you could use, maybe it would work sort of like a sense of emergency or a fast horse or something like that, where it just lets you move more efficiently.
Like, get to any other space in the region, maybe that could be like really good.
That might be a little strong.
That might be a little strong. I'm just trying to think to differentiate.
That would definitely be a one of if ever that were to happen.
Right. But something like that. Obviously, you don't want to step on the toes of the other event cards because you don't want to make them feel redundant to each other. But something like that.
I suppose possibly that something that might make it worthy of being a 2 of is go to any other port, go to from one port to another.
In the same region, maybe? Like,
of the same region. Yeah.
That doesn't seem busted.
Yeah, the best thing you can do with that would be like Bari to Genoa or Athens to Constanta.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that.
Yeah, Bar to Bologna would still be a thing, but that's also covered by excellent weather. I just think, I kind of like that. But
Bari to Valona, Bari and Valona are in different.
Oh, they're not in the same region. Yeah, what am I saying? Oh, wow.
You would still need excellent weather for that purpose.
Well, Mina has either. Well, I don't know if Van Helsing's traded with Mina, but she's no longer revealing her
blood transfusion and a rifle.
Obviously he traded because it's not in the discard pile.
Well, it could be the second event in her hand, is what I'm thinking, maybe.
Yeah, she could still theoretically be holding on to it.
I'm not sure if there is any just simply switch the cards anymore. I think that's one detail that has come off.
No, it's a real thing. I've done it before. I feel bad every time I do it because I feel like you have to do it like during Mina's turn, and it's so obvious, but I think the button is still there. I feel like I've done it.
Okay, well, I kind of doubt that that's the case. I'm pretty sure that now either Helsing or someone else is holding on to CG.
Okay.
If you end the trade with no cards exchanged, it gives you that warning, right? It tells you trade ended with no cards exchanged. But it doesn't tell you the opponent that, does it? It doesn't tell Dracula that no
Nope.
cards were exchanged.
Ooh.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Doesn't tell and doesn't tell us that as a result.
Thankfully, I don't have to trade around 2 horses anymore. That was the old tactic: was you would trade the horses, so they were visual. You were doing a trade because the horse chars were being exchanged, but they were both just keeping horses. That's what I used to do in the old days, but it doesn't work. Don't have to do that anymore.
I played Strider yesterday. He won. But
Oh.
he used a. I was goofing off a little bit, but he used a really clever trade because I knew everything Seward had, right? I knew he had a rifle and I knew he had a knife, and then he got Mina to the same city and traded right before the 2-on-1. And it messed me up so bad because I didn't know who had what anymore. And like Mina had both the knives, and then I was expecting Seward to throw a knife, and he didn't throw anything. Oh, it was great. You can really mess up the combat for Dracula with a good trade right before it.
Yeah,
Because
that you can.
all that information he got from his wolves and the previous combats and the bodyguards, all that stuff just goes out the window if another hunter joins, and that hunter, like, they haven't revealed much information, right? She was only showing a horse. So then all of a sudden there's just trading going around, and I don't know who has what anymore. I don't know who has a host. I don't know who has a knife. I don't know who has a rifle. Yeah, it can be really effective.
Can be, but of course, when you can still do just fine as if you know if the other hunter has given more information. Like if both hunters have shared sufficient information, you can figure things out adequately.
Unfortunate there's no newspapers today. Strider should have tried harder. He should have clicked the supply button better.
He just... What happened to his champion attitude, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
This isn't the Strider that won the New Blood tournament.
Well, I'm surely he'll have one by day 5. He wouldn't not have one by day 5.
I mean, he searched with Jonathan Harker, right? He's got to have it already.
By your logic, he got an early one, so therefore the chances were lower he'd get a right on the dot.
Hey, Jordy, welcome, buddy. Hope we got a good one for you today.
I think it's also possible he just used the Jonathan Harker because he had a surprising return and he wanted his hired scout on command.
Yeah, but okay, you don't have newspaper reports. You draw Jonathan Harker. You already have surprising return in your hand. Are you really going to search with Jonathan Harker just so you can use another card to put Jonathan Harker back into the ally slot on day 5 or whatever?
Well, no. Really? No. You're not going to ally him, because he's a bad ally. You're going to use him to search later in the game and make sure that surprising return is actually a hired scout on demand. Because I honestly think, and maybe I'm wrong, I think if the early trail goes uncontested because you don't draw newspaper reports, I don't think that's a death knell. I think that's kind of okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a great way to start the game. You're fighting from behind, but you can totally win. I mean, everybody's won that way, I feel like, from behind at the
beginning. Now, granted, this looks pretty bad because it looks like a hoax to me. The rumor token not being on the first base.
I was about to say much the same. Yes, folks, bodyguards, something of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great situation to be in, but it's far from the game being over already. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, heck, this isn't necessarily the most popular opinion, but there's people in the Discord who actually think that maturing a 7-point rumored vampire at the beginning of the game is bad for Dracula.
And I am among those who, I think
it may or may not be true, but the fact that there's even debate there, I think, says a lot, right? The fact that there's even debate about whether it's worth it just to clear the whole trail like that and get caught later. It's really not the end of the game.
It depends on a lot. For my part, I tend to try to burn a bit more of their time before like really trying to mature something. I mean, in this case, since so far the trail has gone undetected, I mean, depending on where you are, and I might try to do a Spencer.
Let's
Go
see.
back to
stays
players,
like,
maybe.
yeah.
It's like how if
If
you're Dracula and they get a newspaper report on day 3, right? And they figure out almost immediately where you are, or heck, they hired scout you on your starting location, right? It doesn't really.
that's
that
happened
doesn't
to me.
really mean, oh, I'm gonna lose the game now. Like,
Feels pretty bad.
yeah,
though.
because
types
it's
GG in the chat, right? Like,
Yeah,
the
it
morale
doesn't
is
really work that way.
It does cause a morale dip though. When
True.
there's one space on the board and they find you immediately, it's like, am I this predictable?
You haven't
Yes.
even put down an
I am.
encounter yet.
yeah, but for my part, I don't especially care. In fact, sometimes depending on what sort of pain I have, I consider that good because sometimes I have stuff that's just saboteurs, wolves, and such things that I want them to trigger. As it can slow them down / give me information. Basically, it'll burn their time because, especially since that sort of thing won't get a rumor token, they'll fear each one to be a hoax.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And therefore will chase after each one.
There's also the idea that you lay down a bunch of things that lead up to the vampire, right? So first they get hit by wolves or a bodyguard, then they get hit by the spy and they lose their weapon, and only then do they actually jump onto the vampire. And now they're in a much worse spot, right? Ideally. You know, maybe they get hit by a mob or something on the way and they get softened up.
Yeah.
Then when they do reach the vampire, you know, they've been lugging around a stake the whole time, so they're more vulnerable to say rats and bodyguards and wolves and the like. Or if they don't have the stake, now they have to fight the vampire the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I mean, and those things definitely take time. You know what also takes time? Hunting down Dracula 2 extra days because he didn't get 7 points. Aruk, I'm completely with you. I don't know what these people are. I mean, I don't think Gyro is of this opinion. He's saying there's people that are. The 7-point vampire is so good. And I'm not saying that there isn't other viable things to do. But I'm saying, have you ever looked at a trail and said, hey, I could get 7 points right now. And instead of doing that, the better option is to lair that vampire. Maybe if you're going to move on to it that day. Maybe then it's an okay option. But the 7 points is so good. Oh, here we go. It was Athens!
Hey, let's go. Somebody's been paying attention. Yeah, and you're correct, Beast Wizard. I'm not necessarily of that opinion. Like, if I was Dracula and I could start the game with 7 points, like, why wouldn't you? Even if it means a reset on the trail.
You are losing out on things, for sure. Like, there's a downside. But I think that the downside is outweighed in a lot of circumstances. Not all circumstances, but a lot of circumstances.
But I like what Aruk is saying about the power of the trail in this game, though, because that's so true. The true strength of Dracula, I think, is in pressuring the hunters, like, between having to manage the trail and having to manage Dracula. If they're in a situation where their options are limited because of the pressures of the trail, then that relieves pressure from Dracula himself.
Yes.
It's all about forcing their hand.
Earned carriage, okay.
Have they scanned it all? I feel like they scanned at some point. I'm trying to look back and see what day it was, but with Athens being the starting location, that's really relevant.
Interesting. I suppose that is as far as you can go.
So
I suppose that is as far as you can go.
The vampires in Valona.
Yeah.
And
We already knew that.
Well, I'm just providing some commentary there, Max. So then after that, he went to Salonika. Or no, he went straight to Sofia. No Salonika stop.
Whoa.
Chartered carriage knife. Maybe he didn't care about the tickets so much.
Yeah.
Spies in the East are so bad.
Did he reveal a horse?
He did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's like the tickets don't really matter so much, maybe.
Well, and he doesn't want to discard his one knife, right? Like, he's in the
Mhm.
east. He's never
Yeah.
like, he'd have to go supply in, like, Bucharest, which he doesn't really want to go do right now
That's
if he wanted to
pretty,
get the item back.
pretty inconvenient. Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, but
anything.
the fact that he doesn't have a horse means that Gul'damin actually cannot get to Athens in time.
Yeah, he
Stop
might
it.
just be trying to stop that Bologna vampire that we
Yeah,
all kind of
yeah.
knew was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
And
makes
not letting
sense.
Athens go because he can't deal with
but
it, right? Because if you can't deal with something, there's no point in like just like flailing at it. If you can't deal with it, just move on. Just do the best you can.
Yeah.
yep.
Let him have Athens.
I mean, there are 7 Dracomans in what small bit of discard there is. So if it is a hoax, as we suspect,
Would you rather it be a hoax or a bodyguards?
I mean, as Hunt,
Gyro, is that even
if-
a question? Is that even a question?
I played Spencer Wolfhart, and he spent the early game. This was just a friendly game. He spent the early game going around using Psychic Bond from region to region. So by the time my hoax matured,
ooh,
there were only 2 Dracula cards in the discard pile.
This sense of emergency means that maybe he's going after Athens.
Yeah.
I would have moved her 1 to Zagreb first, and then a sense
Yeah,
of emergency to
Dracula
jump
could
over
be-
this.
Dracula could be in Zagreb right now, exactly.
Yeah, that's an issue, right? You don't want her to fight Dracula 1-on-1.
No, you don't, but
Not
if
in
he did indeed
Zagreb.
scan anytime recently, then
I was looking. He didn't scan the night before this newspaper was revealed.
Dracula is 2 cities from Sofia. I would never want to move Mina to Zagreb. That is so scary.
It's a risk, and I think that I don't know if Dracula wants to go 59, but I feel like knowing that the day 5 thing might get matured, he might suspect they're going to go into the east, and if he thinks they're going to go into the east, going to Zagreb is kind of nice because he can kind of like they all go east, he then heads west
Or north. Through Prague.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I don't know about the Prague movement. That's a little bit slow. But like going to Munich, maybe, or Wolfhorn from 59. I mean, maybe don't Wolfhorn from 59
I bet he's
right
going.
now.
I bet he's going to Munich right now.
I would move by road 1 more day. Just go to Munich.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in need at Zagreb, then just go to Munich and then we'll form from there.
And then you might have a fight with Dr.
I mean-
Stewart tomorrow if he reveals horses. But so what? You can fight him. You're at 15 health. You're gonna be standing on top of an encounter. It'll be fine.
Do you think it's interesting that Mia didn't search Bologna today? Probably indicates she doesn't have a stake. Because you don't need a stake to deal with the hoax, which I think Strider is probably worried about right now, right? So if she had a stake, I don't think there's. I guess maybe scared of a bats or something, or a fog.
Yeah, trickery, I think, is what he's worried about. Yeah, some kind of trickery that's gonna let the encounter in Athens mature.
Oh, a fog right
then
now.
why is he doing this?
Well, because
Godalming
Gul'damin
is the one who needs-
Godalming deal with the vampire. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but Gul'damin did show a stake, so
Yeah.
I think
Just
that's
fine.
why Fangs, you wanted to go to 59, right? So that Mia doesn't
Yes.
even have to get involved in this at all. The issue, but I just
Yeah.
think that it's differing risks, right? You either take the risk of something is going on in Valona, or you take the risk that Dracula was in 59. And you just gotta think and weigh which you think is the lesser of those 2 evils.
You're right. I mean, if that had been fog, it would have been really bad. But even so, like, it's still just the Athens card. That he's getting out of that. You know?
I respect good trail management. I
Yeah,
think that's
good
really
play from
good.
Strider here. He's gonna deal with both of them now. It looks like Dracula won't have his cake and he won't eat it either.
I mean, boo, I wanted that to mature. I'm a Skybreaker fan, but did a good job.
I mean, I think all the Dracula heads out there are gonna be a little bummed by that. But wow,
He didn't use stake. He
Well,
just
he-
searched
well,
it at
He
night.
figure he's a
He
big,
did-
strong lad. He can run away if he has to.
well, here's another thing. There were 2 people who just walked onto it, including me,
didn't ambush.
Yes, and surely Sky could have figured out that Mina was going to walk over it so as to deal with Athens. Yes,
Well,
so
yeah,
he would have
that's-
wanted to ambush on the way.
That's well deduced,
Feels-
Fangs. Yeah, if that
So-
had been a reckless, surely you would have ambushed 3 times by now, right?
Even
You
a
know,
new
right.
vampire.
Yeah,
You
Aruk
need
Manis
to
says
go-
the same thing. Lack of ambushes had him suspecting it was aristocratic. Yeah, well sussed out by Strider there.
Yeah, definitely well deduced. Yeah, what on? Especially since you know from a spy that Goldaming has a stake, so it's not. Maybe I should ambush because they have a stake. I should ambush because this one has a stake. Let's make it do something meaningful. You know.
Yeah, there
The
could be
big brain
vampires.
point is
Like...
you know they have stake, and they know that you know that they have stake, so you don't ambush, so they think that you don't ambush because you can't.
Well, yeah,
And then
yeah,
they start
yeah.
the night, and then obviously that's not what happened. I think that's maybe a little bit too deep. We need to.
It's just will they, won't they, all the way down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a disappointment for Skybreaker. That hoax looked like it was going to mature before.
Well, on the plus side, he did rob the hunters of a sense of emergency.
That's true.
And what's more, in order for Goldaming to be down at Valona, he did spend a chartered carriage, so they did spend 2 events of what they've gotten already.
You're right, he chartered a carriage, and he's delayed now.
Well, how are they going to get out? If they don't have horses, like, how are they going to get out of the east? Because maybe he's still in the east, but if he went, like, Munich yesterday, now he could be Zurich. I mean, he's just, like, he could be across the map from them.
That's a really good point. He was able to use event cards to shove his hunters into the east really deep and get to Dracula's extremity trail here, but now they're kind of, like, stuck there. What are they gonna do to get out if they don't have the horses? Oh no, Strider! Eesh, that's going to hurt the hunters.
That's gonna hurt. That does hurt them. Strider,
yeah,
no!
Does that hurt him?
Oh.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
that's
the
brutal.
Horse is dead. It's dead, Jim.
Presumably that was a 1 in 8, right? He didn't roll it when there was 2 white ones. Surely he wouldn't roll when there was 2 or 3. It must have been the 1 white one.
Yeah, had to have been. I think most of us are willing to gamble on the single white one and not worse than that.
I mean, there are times like towards the mid game, like there are times towards the mid game, like if someone dies, and you lose white ones that way, where you kind of just have to.
Yeah. And that's when it always seems to be yellow too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
How do I? But if you sit there and prep for ages and ages and hope to get it right, and then you take a calculated risk, this happens to you. Like, you get the white one. But then if there's 3 white ones in the pool and only 8 tickets, and somebody just died and you just go for it, it's a yellow 2 every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've had some clutch good luck. I've also had you roll it for the first time and it's immediately a white one and you just feel silly. But, sometimes you got to, and just because a risk failed doesn't mean the risk wasn't worth taking, right? I don't know where he wanted to move Seward. I assume it was to Munich to check it, to see if he actually left.
Presumably.
Which I think maybe that's the risk taking.
This is classic Strider recklessness, if you will. Like, Strider's a total fan favorite, and I should know because I'm a huge fan. But he has a certain cavalier attitude sometimes, let's say, especially in his hunter play. He likes to live a little on the edge, a little dangerously. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, that's a win for Dracula, though. And he didn't lift a finger. Yeah. He just did.
Yeah. So sort of a little evening out of the luck.
Maybe the spy hit a white 1 on Godalming. Maybe that messed it up.
Yeah, it's possible.
That could have been it.
Yeah, and Strider just felt that he needed to take the risk to know if he's been through Munich yet or not.
Which makes sense. I think that's going to dictate a lot of what he does. Because if he hasn't been through Munich, right, the fastest way he could have gotten out is the Prague trail, which means he could only be as far as Nuremberg or Berlin today.
I mean, I get it. You're hoping to hit a yellow 2, you get to Munich, and you could actually even fight Dracula, probably, if he's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what he's hoping for. But
I think the timing works out that he probably would have been gone, unless he was hiding there. But
if you just stay
going back
another day, try to get the tickets right, go there the next day, you'll be 1 day behind him.
I would have gone to Sarajevo there, as that would have told you something.
I think he's trying to get on the rail line to use his charge carriage.
Sense of emergency. Hey, Scott Sword, welcome, buddy. It's a good game so far. Dracula started. Dracula started in, say it with me, everyone, Athens.
Athens.
His first encounter, then went to 55 and put down a vampire. It was hoax, aristocratic. Then he went to Sofia and they found a spy. After that, we don't know where Drac went, but we suspect he went straight to Munich.
Yeah, be nothing. Well, she's already showing the rifle, might as well.
Bang.
Wait, what's that?
That was
Lair?
Yeah. Fortunately, not a big deal.
Could have been like a bats though. A bats there would have been pretty bad.
That would have been just annoying.
She moved. Right, yeah, at first I thought she day searched it. She moved there. Okay, yeah, get her out of
Stewart
Athens.
also played Sense of Emergency to get to Budapest, which I think we still don't know whether he went west. I feel like we got to check the Western Corridor before we start shoving people into it.
Now, not only is he
I would have
had
go down and go to Sarajevo instead of Sofia. From Valona. Check if that's the next spot.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, he still has all his supplies, right? So why not just send him there and see if Drac went there? Sofia was already on the trail when he went there.
I mean, look, maybe Dracula's still in the east. And this is maybe he's been like putzing around, and this is actually great.
I
but
don't like that sense of emergency.
Yeah.
Nor do I.
Why not just move to Munich, plain and simple?
I
Especially
think he's
because
angry about his horse.
you lost your horse, so now you need that sense of emergency more than ever if Seward's going to get around. Right?
Yeah.
The only way to do it right is to do it yourself. Okay, if your horse fails you, just work harder, just walk longer.
Straight in. I don't need no stinking horse. Okay, and now he's wolf formed, probably straight past you. Now you're down sense of emergency. This isn't looking great. We're down in a chartered carriage as well, because we had to in order to get Dracula's trail under control.
Wait, that's actually interesting. We saw a charred carriage on the spy on Godalming. Was that the charred carriage he was using? Because it hadn't technically been discarded yet because it was still in his hand because it got ambushed?
Here?
I thought he had a second charred carriage.
That's a good question about order of operations there. I can't say for sure, Pizza. Yeah, this is interesting. It wasn't Munich after all. Unless he's in Munich now.
I think that...
Okay.
He could have gone 649 Wolf to Munich.
Yeah, this seems to be a Black Sea coast.
Or he could be in Prague. I wouldn't be surprised if he...
Well, he can't be in Prague anymore now that they've checked Vienna.
Well, if he was in Budapest.
He didn't, so he actually can't be in Munich.
Where did he go after Sofia? 56?
Well, he could have been in Munich, right? He could have gone to 53, or not 6, but he could have been in 53 and wolf form from 53.
Okay, so yeah, I suppose it's not completely ruled out yet, but
it seems less likely. I think this was from Sofia. He went to Varna, and then he went to Constanta. That's what
I think it's Black Sea coast, Bucharest, and then
after that.
Klausenberg, most likely. Possibly Galatz. And then a wolf one from there. To Zagreb.
He could be in Sofia right now.
I suppose he could.
If he did wolf form to Zagreb, I don't like that very
much.
Well,
no.
A lot of room for him to catch
Actually, he can't. Because Gladon was sitting on Sofia before he moved to Bucharest today.
You're right.
You know. So.
Hunters have been moving a lot. And that they did stop the 2 initial encounters, but now we're in the middle of the second week. They're down a horse.
Night supply.
We're knights. I think he needs a night supply, honestly. He's a little bit undersupplied right now, and I don't know if he has the time, because he still has a whole trail. He's been moving a lot, but he hasn't actually been hitting a lot on the trail. So he has to keep moving now to deal with the trail, which means that he won't be able to supply until later, which means that Dracula presumably is going to slip out of this, because somebody's going to have to check Munich tomorrow. Again, not supplying. It's just a lot of movement's been happening. A lot of movement.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of expenditure of event cards, and of those, a lot of those have been movement cards. Loss of
Yeah,
horse,
so there's no more sense of
lack
emergency.
of other
That's just
horses
out of the
being
game
shown.
at this point.
Which I was harped on about this last night's game, but that tells Dracula a lot. When there's no sense of emergency to worry about anymore, he can take hunters who are more than 3 roads away and just factor them out completely.
Well, no, Zbrio doesn't fix the problem.
Yeah, or RV, right? But that's the whole point of RV, is it changes the calculus of everything. But aside from that, you can pretty much not have to worry about them.
Yeah.
An example of
No,
what I'm
he
talking
actually
about here.
chose to layer
Oh, he's
the
layer.
thing.
Okay, maybe nothing. He expected that to be fat, maybe. But like, he moved Van Helsing from 25 to 58, maybe because he had to trade with John Stewart. But it's gonna feel pretty silly if Dracula went west and now he has to move Van Helsing back to 25 next turn, right?
Well, the thing is, the furthest west he can be is Munich right now. So.
Well, he could be one space away from Munich. He could be in like Milan right now. Nuremberg.
Incorrect. I mean, okay.
We're gonna
I
find
suppose
out
that
shortly.
the
He's
fact
not
that he has not been,
So that
Okay, now we know.
unless it's Belgrade,
Oh, it's still possible. Yeah.
Belgrade, unless it's specifically
dream is
Belgrade
still
to Jed, then he cannot be there.
Well, why would he stay in the east? They're all coming there. I feel like he tried to go west in some way. I just don't know
Honestly,
whether.
I'm starting to believe that that's precisely what he did, either that or hid at some point or another.
I do feel like there's a hide going on here. It's kind of sketchy. I still think this was Varna to Constanta.
There we go.
It
He
is
did it.
Munich.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
dream is real.
So that means that the place before that is the Jed, and then he it's either hi at the Jed or he went to Belgrade, the Jed, and then oh, new vampire. Okay.
Yeah, there's only been one stake like discarded. I think it kind of makes sense to ambush if you think he's got a stake.
Yeah, so he
I
had
mean,
to
we
go
know that
for
Goldamin's
his
carrying
Jed.
one of the other ones, so there's only 2 unaccounted for.
See, that's why he should have gone to Prague. No, wait, you can't get to Prague from Zagat. My bad. No. You'd have to wolf from Zagreb.
Not.
Yeah, Strider did a good job of covering the northern passage. He like checked Budapest and then he checked Vienna. He made sure there was no sneaky business going on.
Punch in the jaw. Yeah, get one.
Good.
He's not above hitting a woman.
Is she a woman anymore? I think it's just a vampire. I think that supersedes
Fair point.
the monstrosity. Not of this world. Let's see a holy bullet kill. That would make me excited.
He's gonna whip out the
Anything
gun right now.
regarding
What if he
holy
gets
bullets.
banged? Here's the revolver. It's a rifle.
Huh?
Okay.
Look, why would he play a rifle unless he had holy bullets, right?
He's
He's got to have holy bullets.
It's got to be sacred. Ammunition.
Well, unless he simply doesn't have a knife, he could just be trying to damage it down, beating it down over time.
Yeah,
Oh wait,
on
there's a
new
message.
vampire.
Ryder says, "Uh-oh." Is that the uh-oh of you're about to get shot while you're monologuing?
Got me monologuing. Is he gonna get him?
Come on, show me a waiting prompt. I'm ready.
Yes! Yes.
Wait a minute! No! Got him.
Ambush, kill new vampire.
No damage taken.
Uh-oh. For you.
Yeah, call an ambulance, but not for me.
Seriously.
Great.
That's very nice.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Good job. So Strider, this is why you use the Pizza Wizard setup. You're killing vampires with holy bullets. Maybe I should be on Strider's side. I don't know. We're gonna stay in the Skybreaker camp, but I like a lot of the things he's doing.
Yeah, he's emulating greatness.
Yeah, so Ain. Unless Van Helsing has another char carriage, then there's whatever's next is going to at least have the option of maturing. Oh, Oh, I'm not sure it was such a good idea to chase after that right now.
Wait, did he roll horses? Was that a horse
Yeah.
move?
Okay, back. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like you're okay with getting ambushed by the bats. There's no longer a vampire to threaten you.
Yeah, which is... Although it would appear as if Van Helsing may well have forewarned with how long it took for him to acknowledge that.
Look, I have a stopwatch. Every time a forewarn trigger, I just like wait like 5 seconds before I click it. Because now everybody's reading into it too much, and the forewarns are like the nuclear codes that I have to keep hidden and safe, because if people know where they are, they become a lot less effective.
You're like some kind of master code breaker.
No,
This,
people are gonna read into my.
this,
my
however,
domain.
could easily be very painful for Van Helsing.
He's letting lots of cards slip through, and quote unquote mature. He got lucky that Dracula just layered the last one.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
the
can't
one-
really go get him right now. They're in the opposite direction of Dracula, right? Like,
yeah, but that's where you have to start making the hard decisions. Do you pursue Drac or do you? I mean,
Yeah,
his
or,
rearmost
like-
hunters could have done something about it, perhaps, like Godalming, Nina, maybe.
Yeah, Godalming definitely could have, since he was standing at Bucharest when he... for a little bit, so
I mean, I'm
he
not
definitely
being
could have
critical. You got to
dealt
make the
with
hard
Santa.
choices and everything.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
just
difficult choice, I know.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. Like, how do we decide what's going to be worth it and what's not? We have seen one hoax already, so maybe this card's not going to be so scary. Run away!
Yeah.
Can't blame him. I
Yeah.
mean, the man's 72 years old. You're going to stand there and fight the Prince of Darkness one-on-one?
Well, here's the fun thing. He could bat him onto some spot and then move right on him.
Oh, that's right. He's been batted.
And since Van Helsing will be delayed, he won't be able to move off of him.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Dracula just played strength because he really didn't have any better options. It happens sometimes.
It would definitely be entertaining if Dracula did that. Like batted him to, say, Geneva and then walks onto him. Especially since Seward has already described a horse, so it's and Van Helsing has shown one, so it's far less likely that he has one. Okay, but that is not the case. I would have sent him back to. I would have sent. Unless he intends to go to Nuremberg. Yeah, Munich would have left more options.
Here's the thing about 51, 60, 41. That's the Bermuda Triangle right there. That's how you lose hunters in Central Europe. And sometimes 24 gets involved in the mix too. But it's mostly those three. And you don't want the hunters to be occupying that space already, because then that's like revealing it for free. So yeah, if Van Helsing was in, say, 37 or 38, now Dracula can move and they don't know if he went to Nuremberg or Strasbourg or to 24.
I think sometimes the obvious move is the correct move. I think that they're crippled on movement. Just move away from them. Maybe it's obvious you go to Marseille here. I think it's maybe just the right thing to do.
Agreed.
'Cause what are they going to do about it? Like, they're going to move after you slowly.
I think that in this case, Geneva would have been slightly better.
What just happened?
We're about to find out. Strider talking about his strategy here. He was risking not clearing the lair that he figured was in 17.
It's a little bit optimistic to hope that one of them is a fog. I think that's a little bit...
Possibly. But he also called out the possibility of a mob or a
That's true.
A
bats are a mob,
in that case, yeah, that's why he hauled his hunters out of there to escape the potential mob. It's a wolves in Constanta, so that'll get
unfortunately he can. Yeah, unfortunately that's not regional, but it has enough range to reach them.
Which one?
Oh, but Mina has 2 weapons, so now he.
But now you know Mina has a knife.
Yeah.
Well, when does Mina not have a knife?
When
she doesn't draw one.
Strength it from her, Or when she gets hit by double spy and discards 2 of them.
True.
Yeah, but at this stage, since nothing of that kind has affected her, I mean, yeah, honestly, I would go Geneva if I were Drac.
Imagine putting down double spy and the hunter lands on it, and you ambush them with both the spies, and they just reveal their hand to you twice.
Feels bad. I think that's a nice middle ground, honestly. You're going away from the hunters, and 24, they're probably going to check Marseille first. I kind of like that, and it leaves you open to like going to Paris or something. Like it doesn't, you're not necessarily going south. Whereas like if you go Marseille today, you're probably just going to go into Spain.
Yeah,
I say probably. You could go back to Italy or something.
Yeah, Geneva's not a bad choice at all here.
Yeah, I think that is a slightly better option than Marseille. Marseille is a bit too obvious. Plus, we do have rail lines to consider. As actually, Seward could get there with a charred carriage. And we at least think that there's still one more kicking around somewhere.
Alright, clearing up the rest of the trail.
Yeah, I like that Strider hasn't doubled down. Yeah, he hasn't seen that those two, and he was like, okay, because I let those two mature, it's fine. We're gonna let everyone mature. You know, he's still eating his vegetables. He's clearing up the trail.
Gotta do your due diligence here. Don't let everything slip away. Obviously.
Didn't go to Milan.
Munich.
The local rumors tells us that at least.
What was in Munich? It was the new vampire.
That was the new vampire.
He blasted it. That's a huge momentum swing.
So I started blasting.
Zurich was bad.
Yeah, at present, the hunters are in a better position than Drac is.
I think they still got some work to do.
Oh,
ooh, that is nice to see both hoaxes gone.
Yeah, you lose your stake, but at least that's taken care of.
Yeah, if only that was on Black Sea Coast.
And Dracula puts down a hoax, it's going to be ages and ages before it would mature.
If only that had been one of the Black Sea Coast ones, I imagine Sky is thinking.
And you know, it's possible he just didn't draw it in time for that. That happens too.
True.
I think that's why we don't see hoaxes so early on we don't see hoaxes as often as we see an early vampire, just because there's only 2 in the deck, right? You only have a 5 starting.
By the way, we've got another Night Supply here.
You're right.
Oh yeah, he did Night Supply, and it's working out for him. What are his odds right now?
Okay, with Marseille.
He's got, there's 18 left in the pile. 18 out of 51? Or it was 52 before he did that. 18 out of 52? That's not the worst.
If it was me, and if I was Dracula, I might have just gone to Strasbourg. Because Van Helsing's delayed, and even if Seward does move there, now you can escape as a bat against Seward, maybe.
Yeah,
I would have.
I think you can go anywhere from there.
And well, yeah, sure, you can go to Paris right afterwards.
I definitely would have considered that, yes, but I think that it's better to try to stall a bit. If you are going to go there, then wait until Wolfform is about to slide off. Also go Geneva, Talleyrand, Paris, then go to Strasbourg.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Either, actually.
Yeah, because
I like that a bit actually, because you get to put down a bit more trail that way, and it's kind of unlikely they're actually going to just catch you and climb up Ferrand or not. And by the time you get to Nantes, you can kind of assess and be like, okay, are they closer to me now? Is it safe to go to Paris and then maybe Strasbourg?
I think that I would simply go to Clonferrand as Drac here. They'll need to send some Spectre Noah in case for like if you're going down the loot and such. So
could be tempting if he wants to get back to that lair eventually.
If he wants to go back to Black Sea Coast, he can always travel by sea. I mean, yes, he knows that they have CG, so obviously it would be much later, but
Well, I think you want to go from like Adriatic there, right? So you can leave from Black Sea if you have to. I think landing there from Black Sea, knowing they have CG, is a death
Suicide.
sentence. But if
Yeah.
you can go there from the land and then have that as your escape route, not so bad. We'll see. I also think maybe he just wants to move away from the hunters because we know that they have bad movement, and if we know they have bad movement, just move away from them, even though it's obvious because their movement is bad. So they'll have to spend more time catching up to you.
I think you're right. It's as simple as that. You've seen so much of their movement cards expended. Basically, at this point, like it's up to Strider to prove that he can get onto Dracula, and so Dracula
Yeah.
can just say it's CG or nothing, or it's RV or nothing at this point. It's renewed vigor. I'm just gonna slink away. Yeah, just go
That's
straight
pretty well
to
supplied.
Toulouse, straight to Saragossa.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I agree with going straight there, but
Yeah,
it's
but essentially,
definitely worth
right.
consideration.
Maybe you go to 39 first, then maybe you go to Bordeaux and 47.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's things you can do, but yeah, you just need to kill kill clock really, to eat some clock up.
Yeah.
By moving one space at a time.
Yeah, they're limping along on the archaic rail lines. Look, isn't Gyro? Think if they had horses right now. You are such a proponent of the rail line, and it is just failing them here. The lines are not up to snuff over there in the east. It's not good
Well,
enough.
Of course they're
They
not up to
should
snuff.
have
Of course they're
not
up to
lost their fast horses.
They should have drawn
Well,
better.
Well, they could have drawn the last horse by now, but it's by appearance it seems to have been buried towards the bottom of the deck.
Well, and they've been moving. They haven't supplied that much recently because they've all been moving, and now he's moving back. Is he giving a horse to Godalming? That
Quite
would
possibly. That actually makes a certain amount of sense. As Godalming's the tank and such. Van Helsing's the one you want to just sit back and supply, find events, etc.
And while Pizza Wizard, I do detect a certain satirical charm in your comments, I will say that it's not just about the train per se.
Oh.
It's about holistic movement management.
Right.
So
use what you got.
It's about saying, I have a horse, but maybe the 3 white yellow 2 ticket is actually better right now, and I can hang on to that and use that tomorrow. Because I'm in Germany and Dracula's in Munich or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a time and a place for everything. Holding on to your sense of emergency and taking the train instead, and then next turn you can sense of emergency. Things like that. It's not that you don't want to have the horses ready per se. It's just that sometimes if you have a yellow 1 in the ticket pool, that's not such a big deal because somebody else is ready to take a really good train. You see what I mean? Somebody else is primed to go from Vienna to Genoa, or from Madrid to Paris, or from Paris to Berlin, or from Berlin to Vienna even, or chartered carriage, right?
Yeah.
It's about using every part of the buffalo.
And then, what was I gonna say? And then as for the trains not being up to snuff of Pizza Wizard, of course that's true because Snuffleupagus has no say in what the tickets do.
True.
In terms of
the train was invented in England. That's why England has the best trains in the game. Doesn't matter where you are in England, as long as you're not in Ireland, you can take a train to anywhere else in England, and you don't even need a chartered carriage.
I just think it's an interesting coincidence that the trails are all bad right around Dracula's house. I'm just saying maybe there was some interference going on, some bureaucracy, some red tape.
You give a couple of well-placed bribes, a little bit of vampire gold, you can ungrease the wheels, so to speak.
I question the wisdom placed in the room token on a place they already know what it is.
Especially
moving. Wants to stop him from sitting and supplying.
I guess, what he's worried about is, let's say there is a vampire there, right? And then Strider just says, fine, you can have it. I don't care about the 4 points.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of agree. Maybe you just put a Reckless down there and don't rumor it and start fanging away at everybody who moves there.
Aruk brings up an interesting point that I think is worth some discussion. He's asking, like, what do we think? Should the hunters be like just like doing some day supplying? Like, is moving all of them over to Spain the right idea? And I think that's a very astute question. And I think you got to send some of them because you got to put pressure on them. But I think that sending like 2 of them and then posting the other 2, maybe like in Milan or Munich or Marseille, like close but not like always moving, so they can just supply, is probably what they need to do because they need to get more events. They're a little bit event light right now, and they would need to get their 3rd horse if they don't have it, and they probably just want to reshuffle the deck just to see if they can get that.
Of course they don't have it. And they do have 1st horse. Both Gul'daming and Turd showed horse today.
Okay, so they have the 3.
Well,
so they,
well the 3 that.
That's the name of the game.
2, apart from the one that died, yeah.
Yeah, that's Fury of Dracula right there, is how can we both catch him and also keep drawing cards, because we need cards to kill him. I agree. I think you can't totally just stop everybody to resupply. You have to manage what you have. Nice Psychic Bond.
Definitely a good scan.
You manage what you have and have somebody start checking the extremities, right? So somebody needs to make sure he didn't go to Nuremberg, I guess. Even though you could just do that by checking Zurich.
Well, Zurich's still on the trail.
You're
mind
right.
you,
Of course.
He could have gone to Geneva after Marseille.
And then Strasbourg or Paris. Like, you have to start eliminating those, is my point.
I want to see a Toulouse check, honestly. I want to see like a horse from Godalming to Toulouse tomorrow. Because if he did go to Toulouse, they can stop checking these other spots and just like start motoring west. Because the Italy scan was good.
Yes, Seward could then deal with Marseille at that point. And we figure out if Dracula went to Toulouse or if he didn't. And then you either have Van Helsing move to Munich or have him take a train to Genoa and start supplying after that. Or you just keep him in Vienna and supply from Vienna.
I think that Gul'daming's going to be dealing with Marseille because I believe he didn't he spend it not, or did he spend his stake on the hoax?
We've added another despair to it. He did. He expended the stake on the hoax. That's correct.
Okay, in which case we don't know that Gul'daming has a hoax. Okay, well it's... Okay, yep, he's going to... And he hid there.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean... It'll slow him down on gathering information, like he could have gone to Bordeaux, he could have gone to Clermont-Ferrand.
Yeah, but that would kind of still be the... I get your point, but that would sort of still be the case even if he didn't hide. Like, we wouldn't,
yes.
We wouldn't really know if he went to Clermont-Ferrand or Bordeaux after, or 48. I think you want to keep moving there, but maybe he was trying to lure somebody into a fight. I'm not so sure about that one. I don't know what he was thinking, but I also don't have all the information. Could have had his reasons.
Yeah, I mean, you could be in like, you could push him into him maybe. I guess no, with the night movement, no, that's less appealing.
I mean, we were talking about lurking around between Geneva and Clermont-Ferrand and all that. So maybe that's just sort of his idea of doing that. Just play the hide card. That's one fewer space they can find me at.
Okay, so now he's gonna...
Eats up
Oh, it was a... Oh, but Gul'daming's one event is... But one of Gul'daming's events was forewarned.
Oh, now we're playing some Fury of Dracula, ladies and gentlemen. Tried to catch 2 hunters in the fog. That would have been wild.
And that makes the rumor token make sense, right? He wanted to draw them in to Marseille.
Make sure that they stop and check it.
Well, look, obviously this is not great for Skybreaker, but he did use a fog before his deck reshuffled, so that fog could come back.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
3 more encounters,
and
then that'll reshuffle.
Yeah, which all he needs is a discrete soil.
But all you need right now is the hunters get behind the veil and they snatch the other fog out of your hands. Then they RV and just go for it and kill you.
Don't say those things. Don't put that into the world, Gyro. Okay, Dracula's doing great right now. He's safe. Surely they won't get him.
Don't know. I'm kind of like swinging to the other side. Scott Sword makes a good point about Dracula's been kind of just on a winning streak. Dracula's on a tear. Maybe this is the beginning of like the redemption arc for the hunters, where I start cheering for the hunters.
Why don't we start saying that like after this game? Can we just like keep this game as the Dracula win streak?
At the beginning of this tournament, hunters were like the bad guys, and everybody cheers for Dracula all the time because they want to see him win because he used to be so underpowered. But now the shoe's on the other foot, I think.
Yeah, the nice thing about hiding at Toulouse means that, or just the current situation is that there's still an encounter at Toulouse and he could have gone north or south, and they don't know.
Check it.
Yeah, and Goldaming is still delayed from the baths. So.
Interesting that he didn't forewarn the bats. Or no, he was ambushed by the bats. Yeah, he didn't forewarn the bats. He chose to wait until he saw something more threatening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you forewarned every bat. You forewarned a bat if it's like protecting a hoax or something. But
yeah, I agree.
Rufus.
You just take.
Well, that's.
Wouldn't be so bad. He's the ally.
I would have done a search. Check Saragossa. Basically, help narrow things down a little.
I mean, I think he's got a surprise return, and I feel like he'll be able to use it with his other discard ally. So I think, like, if he's in Spain, he's going to go to sea eventually. Having Rufus there without having to use your surprise return is kind of nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to capitalize on it though. Like they have to hit Dracula in a combat, and
this will be a good psychic
for
bond.
7 or 10 health. Only then will Rufus suddenly become like.
Mind you, Geneva is not out of the question yet. He could be there right now.
I think risky, but possible.
Yeah, I mean he could.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the psychic bond, they would go tearing down to Spain, only to figure out, oop, he went to Geneva.
Yeah, there's still a possibility here for Drac. But that's the question. Do you eliminate every possibility, or do you just go with your gut?
That depends on what sort of events you've got, in my opinion.
Yes.
And just how good your horse economy is. He's still in France. Has not yet gone to Spain.
Makes me think of Bordeaux, maybe.
What
or not.
CG?
He could have gone 15
Bordeaux, Nantes. Yeah, makes sense.
So wait, he was reeled in France?
Yes.
Okay, good psychic bond. So 50. I think he's in Paris.
I think that this would be a good time for a wolf form. As even from Nantes, you can get to either Geneva, Santander. You can just make more distance.
The problem is, if Strider catches wise to where you wolf form to, and he rushes all 3 of those hunters after you and drives you to sea, wolf forms on the trail and you're at sea, and you know he has the CG. That's the only issue I foresee with that.
And there's also Rufus as well.
But if
at the same time,
and he doesn't catch you promptly, like he lags behind and dithers, then you go to sea and wolf form comes off the trail just in time.
Like if he was in Strasbourg yesterday, I might consider wolf forming from Strasbourg because I think that wolf form is pretty good. That makes a lot of distance. Granted, a lot of that is covered by the psychic scanning, but I kind of like the 51 wolf form quite a bit.
I like where Gio's going with this. He was in Toulouse, right? I think he just went from Bordeaux to Nantes. Simple as that. Like, there's crazy theories about back to Clermont-Ferrand and back to Paris, and that's possible. But I think he just simply went to Nantes in
Coast
an
is
effort
definitely
to
most
keep
likely.
away from the hunters and trick them into thinking he went to Spain.
Here we go.
Strider's had some good luck.
Here we
He's
go.
drawn a Rune
Here
Vigor
we go.
and a CG in the top
Now,
third of the deck.
do you check Le Havre?
I feel like I would want to check Le Havre.
Well, first things first. Have Van Helsing supply to get that, to, if nothing else, get closer to getting your horse back.
I suppose that's true. It's less relevant because we see the Dracula but on top, but yeah, you're supplying, if you're not going to move him, supplying him first is good.
Scott Sword, on Mina's first day action on day 1, when she supplied, she got CG, and it was revealed for all to see.
Okay.
You're going to check Nantes? I might like a non-check here.
But
I would go Paris, personally.
Paris doesn't really tell you anything, does it? I mean, it's possible he went through Paris.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's more likely to be where he is now.
Now check Le Havre. And then if he's there, you can get, hopefully, your other 2 hunters onto him, depending on train tickets.
Yeah, the thing is, there's no hide card involved in this.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Le Havre where he's in Santander. Because he went.
I mean, that's assuming that he didn't go,
Toulouse,
like, maybe
Bordeaux.
15, 8, 39. Like, he could have put some delays in there.
He could have gone Toulouse, Clermont-Ferrand,
Bordeaux, and now he's in Santander.
That night he was picked up on the Psychic Bond in Bordeaux, and now he's in Santander. That's the other option. It's that or he's in Le Havre.
I want to know where Nantes is. I feel like Nantes tell you kind of what he's doing. Like, because he might be in Nantes today, but if he's not in Nantes today and it's the space before where he is, that tells you it's very likely Le Havre, I think. Or it could be Bordeaux, because he could have gone 1539. But that limits him to 1 to 2 spaces, whereas the Paris move tells you that he's not in Paris, because there was a chance he was there. But it doesn't really tell you what he was doing on the coast.
Yeah,
okay, so
you're right.
in terms of ordering things, I would now horse with Seward and check Nantes.
Check Bordeaux. I like that. That tells you a lot too. Oh?
Not necessarily.
I don't know about Brussels.
Is it possible he could have been there? He could have been in Strasbourg, actually. That's a possibility that he was in Strasbourg and moved to Brussels.
Oh.
Possibility.
Yeah, it was Bordeaux.
Yeah, like if he went from Toulouse,
So,
to Geneva, and then Strasbourg.
Yeah, so that's gotta be Bordeaux, Nantes. It's gotta be Bordeaux, Nantes, and Le Havre. So nonetheless, he will still be able to get a 2-on-1 unless the second fog is right there, which we know that he will have almost certainly have had the option. Almost certainly. Not guaranteed, as he drew the final card for his.
Why did he just check there?
Checking there confirms it's Le Havre.
Why wouldn't you just take the train to Le Havre?
Because if it's not Le Havre, he's in Nantes, I suppose. And maybe he doesn't have a train ticket. Maybe he has like 2 white ones or something.
Oh, man. Maybe you're right. Oh, the train. Just take the train.
Well, I'm just saying, if he moves Godalming to Nantes, then he's not wasting Mina's movement. Because he knows that he can't be far. I'm just, it's fine. This is a fine movement. Godalming is in Paris. That's centrally located. He's still on the good rail line. He's still going to be able to get on Dracula.
I might actually supply with Godalming's second move, because personally I think that Godalming should just supply so as to avoid a one-on-one situation.
One-on-ones generally are not desirable.
And that boxes him in.
Mm-hmm.
He can go to C, sure, but you kind of force it.
I would turn out to be right this time. He did just simply move from Toulouse to Bordeaux to Nantes. Because good old
I think
Nantes,
it makes a lot of sense.
The call of the Nantes to Dracula is just very appealing.
Well, just the call of back-to-back port movements.
Yeah.
Like, it's like port movement. I get caught, I leave.
39 is just a solid spot, too. And then, yeah, lets you go to Le Havre. It turns out Le Havre is the answer to the riddle. It looks like.
Does that hurt him?
She's not gonna like that. Yeah, crucifix
I
like
mean,
a little red wagon.
in one sense, he probably will like it because it reveals it.
Seward's not getting on him today anyway, and he's probably going to seed no matter what happens in this combat.
Heroic leap. Okay, yeah, that would be
True.
Unless he wants to like unless he wants to wolf form to Amsterdam or something like that.
Look, I'm all for Amsterdam, but I feel like this wolf form is so bad because you can't go to Bordeaux.
No. Yeah.
It's just so bad.
I agree, but it is something he could do in theory.
You can't even wolf form hide. You can't bluff the wolf form hide. It's just like it's so bad.
There's still a lot of time left is the thing. So even if you just went to the English Channel and wolf formed to England, you still
you had CG.
You got the CG to worry about. Yeah, but if you were to say go to Swansea, it's not a big deal. You dodge the CG, but then he's gonna like put the CG token down in Dublin or something. You'd have to end up going to the North Atlantic and then South Atlantic or North Sea. It'd be really messy, is my point. But maybe that's exactly what you need, is to create some messiness and then get Strider to play that CG and commit it, and then you go, haha, you didn't realize though that I could just go to this C zone and we'll form to Germany or something like that.
Wolfform hide is one thing that we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Since Hyde is still on the trail.
Plotting. He escapes.
Okay, that went nicely for Seward. Ryder is definitely a very good combat player.
Just
very good
at
reading the scenario.
Godalming doesn't go in if he doesn't have heroic leap, right? Or maybe he does. Maybe you're willing to like trade damage a little bit if you think he can stop him from running away.
I mean, can
with him at 14,
stop the escape as bat? Because I don't feel super great about Dracula escaping as a bat to Strasbourg and then wolf forming or something like that. Or going to 24 and then wolf forming.
I would just apply, get an event, possibly improve your battle hand.
Dracula's leaving today, right? He's definitely going to sea.
Here we go. Here we go. He's going for it.
Here we go.
Strider. Maybe he's got the heroic leap. That would be badass.
Even if he just deals some damage, it could be good here.
If he has the heroic leap, then I agree with this move. Otherwise, I don't like this.
It's risky.
Another fog.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
right.
Assuming the fog hadn't been played, right? I think as Dracula here, it's like a really acceptable level of risk, because you could just strengthen mesmerize, but from Strider's point of view, you've got 2 despair tokens down, right? So Dracula can't escape until round 4. So maybe you could just like throw your heavenly host at him or something like that, or stick him with a knife. And then you escape in round 2 or 3, before Dracula even has the opportunity to escape as a bat.
This is kind of subtle, but I want to point it out. Skybreaker just made sure that he got his last fog used before his encounter deck reshuffled. He didn't make Zurich a layer, even though he could have. He matured it instead. Just so that he wouldn't place an encounter. So when this fog gets used, it gets reshuffled. And that's not something that's easily noticed, but I think it's really big here that he has both of his fogs in that 16.
Well, actually, that was already the case because he ambushed with it before the Dracula phase even started. So that's actually, I think that he should, unless he just really likes his hand, I think he should have done the Zurich layer. So I think that was semi-mistake, quote unquote.
Oh, I get your point. Order of operations, right? Slight correction.
Well, no, it was the day before, right? He would have layered Marseille today, right? He would have layered Zurich yesterday, which would have been before.
Okay. Yeah, no, Pizza Wizard's right. Today it was Marseille.
Either that, or he just removed the Zurich layer just now.
To
make the Marseille layer.
He's obviously paying attention to what's going on with fog and the reshuffle. So that was really huge. Gosh, behind.
I might have taken that fight with Godalming. I might have taken that fight.
I definitely would have considered it as well.
Yeah, but then you get hit by a heavenly host and a knife, and you're at 7.
You
Then you
you
go
get
to
hit you
C,
get hit
and
by a heavenly host and the CG is weaker.
And you can also
yeah,
feed
but
there,
you're
right? Like, you could stay there and fight him again. And he's late. He's not healing overnight. Like, maybe you could do that. I think he doesn't, and I think that's okay. I don't think it's, like, crazy lucrative.
right. If Godalming was at like 6 health, maybe. Right.
Well, or if you could just
Okay.
get an escape. Like, even I think an escape would be really good. Like, even if you can't kill Godalming. Ooh. Oh, that's not a lair. It's his encounter throw.
Yeah, although I might have just let that go because you know it's not a poke, so you've already had both of those. Okay, what do you put in Marseille?
That's
Whoa,
vampire.
a lair reckless vampire.
Those are classic. Those are
Okay.
that's a staple. You gotta love those.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but okay.
I've done this
Oh, I
before. I
layered
think it's
reckless.
real,
Oh yeah, I love a good layered reckless. You put it
especially in
in
Marseille.
Marseille, for
Yeah.
example, Munich, perhaps. I mean, they only have 4 health anyway, is the thing. So you can sometimes even bait people into fighting them,
Okay.
trying to
Shame.
make a
that.
stand.
Probably didn't have a fang, but that's okay. Look, it's still got 2 damage, and if they ever move to that city again, Reckless is still there.
How many encounters can just net you a point like that?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Especially layered ones.
So yeah, now the question is how do they balance out the get into England before him slash clearing the trail here.
Well, they moved off the ports with Seward, so... And
Well,
Mia
that was
didn't
to go
want
deal with
to do it.
Toulouse, yeah.
Well, right, I'm just saying that if he's going to do it, earliest person who's going to get there is going to be Godalming, and that's going to be, if he doesn't have excellent weather, 2 days from now. Assuming he lands tonight, which I think he probably will. Okay, aristocratic, dealt with.
Hey, Van Helsing could have an excellent weather, or not excellent. Well, that's also true. I was thinking of just tickets to get to Bordeaux to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, we still have only 2 stakes on the Discord, and we've gone through almost the entire item deck.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if Van Helsing has a stake.
I think he's going to wolf form today. I think he's probably got to. I don't think a lot of sea movement here is very good for him, given the fact that Rufus is in play and that the hunters are a little under. Like, you don't want to give him time to sit and supply.
There's so many guns in the discard pile. 3
this
pistols,
is Europe, it's not America.
2 rifles.
3 pistols, 2 rifles. That's actually a pretty standard amount, considering what tends to happen.
Surprising there's more. Oh, 3 pistols. I thought it was reversed. I was like, why would there be more rifles than pistols? People like rifles more than pistols, but no, it's the way I thought it would be. It's fine. He's thinking about it.
How many pistols are there in the deck? 3?
There's 4 of each type. There's 4 of each gun type.
Oh.
Although I am notoriously bad at remembering how many of the cards in the deck, so maybe take what I'm saying for yourself. But if Fangs is also saying it, it's probably believable.
Yeah, I do have some talent. Some talent as a card counter.
Yeah, there's 3 hoaxes, right, guys? No. No, there's not. There's 2. Anyway, does he land or does he move 1 space?
Stakes, right?
Yeah, it is 4 stakes. I know that one. There's 4 stakes.
Okay. I'm suddenly second guessing myself.
So there's still 2 stakes left that are not in the discard pile. They could be the bottom 2 cards of the draw pile in theory, but that'd be ridiculous odds.
Is it tempting to move 1 space to maybe make it look like you're wolf forming into Spain or something, or is it just better to just get on land now?
Well, the thing is that they have time to deploy a Coast Guard in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just go for England. Force them to come to you.
Problem with England is he can't really move to Manchester because they'll kill him. So
that is true, but the thing is he can always wolf form over it. Well, I suppose not really.
I think
he can always do feed, hide, and so on.
you will form today and they don't immediately know that you're in Manchester, you might get away with it. The issue is if they, for some reason, like search 52, like maybe they draw hired scouts, that's pretty bad. Because then they're like, okay, Zone 52 is either in 33 or 35, I can kill either of those places with my CG.
Okay.
Hired scouts, because there is 2 hired scouts have been drawn, so there's 2 more to find.
Yeah.
Okay, you do this, and then you wolf form to Berlin.
Not Berlin, because that's a CG nuke spot too. I'd do Leipzig.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Not to mention, in addition,
By
Berlin
train,
is closer on the rail line.
It's. Yeah, you're right. By train, it's actually Leipzig is 1 space further away from.
Yeah.
You know what? If you approach from 16, or even from 51.
Is there any argument you move like 4 C spaces here just to get to Sunday, and then you will form, keeping it confusing whether it was Irish Sea or Mediterranean? Or are you just supposed to land?
I think if you keep moving by sea now, you're probably cooked.
Yeah. They only have 1 RB left to draw. But yeah, it's a lot of damage from Rufus.
But the problem is, I mean, you might be cooked either way.
Because I'm just trying to think about what he does if he lands in England. Like, if he's in North Sea right now, I feel like the Germania landing is not amazing. And I feel like the England landing is a death battle.
If you go to Leipzig, it's really dangerous. Because they can all potentially RV and take trains and get you.
Well, there's only 1 RV. I don't think he has the second one. Like, there's a good chance he does not have another RV right now. And the sooner he lands, the less the chance.
He can still CG you and force you back towards him. But if you go to England, the CG situation could be even worse. But he also might not be expecting England. But you could also be in the North Atlantic right
does have a stake to deal with this Bordeaux van.
47.
I might wolf to 35 here and just pray and hope he doesn't find it out immediately. And then I can move to 32 and be safe next time.
I would wolf form to 19.
You could also
it might seem odd, but...
You could be in the North Atlantic right now, and you could wolf form to Dublin, right? And that might throw the hunters off. They play their CG, only to find out you're not in England at all, and then you just go to the Irish Sea next turn and land at Swansea.
True, and you could feed in Ireland, and it wouldn't be immediately obvious whether you were feeding in 18 or you were feeding in, like, 52.
I think if you already played the North Atlantic, maybe Ireland's the move.
Twice.
Because what it essentially does is it lands Dracula, but then he goes, psych, I haven't actually landed yet. I'm getting ready to go to sea and land now. You see what I mean? Like, it draws out the CG play only for Dracula to immediately just go to sea again and then land in England.
Issue is if they don't play CG, and they find out he's in Ireland via, like, a hired scouts or something, they can just wait for him to leave. And they know he has to leave, because his North Atlantic will be on the trail for a long time, and they'll have to go to England. But, yeah, I mean, if they immediately play the CG when he lands, which would kind of, you know, they would be got pretty good, because they're probably not going to they might put the permanent one in, like, I don't know, if they think he's in England, because he will forms there, they might put it in Manchester just to figure out if he's actually there. Because it has to be placed first. That's the hard part.
Yeah, I think typically, though, when you're sieging England, Liverpool is the typical target for that, and that works, and that's an inconvenience for him if he's in Ireland. So I think that I'm not sure Ireland would be the best idea. I mean, it's hard to find a good idea given the circumstances.
Yeah, I kind of wish he went into Spain, because that would give him more options from sea movement, but it's okay.
Well, it's possible that he's heading that way.
Well, right, but it's so slow.
Going to Nantes and then Le Havre.
It's possible it's North Sea now. And then he will form lands.
The hide in Toulouse kind of backfired, because, I mean, obviously it was a good trap, and if it worked out, it would have been paid dividends, but it meant that he couldn't hide in Nantes. He had to keep moving, and I think from Nantes, if you're going to move, you have to move to Le Havre. You're not going to
I mean, the hide kind of paid off, after all, it did bat gliding into the fog. I'm sure it got forewarned, but
But
well, no, yeah, it was definitely a good trap. I just feel like the situation it's left him with his C movement is a little bit sad. But it was a good trap for sure.
yeah, if only he'd been able to
Yeah.
make it to say Alicant or even Cadiz.
Honestly, I might just go to med. It's very
That's what I was
painful due to
thinking about.
Rufus, but you can stop at CAG, then do feed, hide, etc.
Well, it's awkward because the day after, like, because the Saturday move would be there, Sunday move would be landing, and then if he feeds, he's not getting points.
Does Van Helsing have both? Have another stake? Not impossible, but or is he gonna just try? Is he gonna try to just outright kill this thing?
There's also a chance he just like wolf forms into Spain.
That's also possible. Which, considering that Van Helsing and Godalming's moves, and Helsing's move, I might be tempted to do that.
The decision's already kind of been made, right? Like the C space where he's at right now is kind of determining what his options are. You really hope hunters don't have money trail here. Money trail would be pretty bad.
It would. That. Okay.
Slurp.
Is Van Helsing holding another stake?
Old man blood.
Let's see.
Wonder what sea he's in. Wonder what he's cooking up.
South, North Atlantic, North Sea, Irish Sea, everything's on the table right now.
Yeah, lots of options. Which is the advantageous thing about what I guess you say
Just
the
those
waters
seas in general.
surrounding the British Isles in particular. Yeah, the seas in general, but specifically these northwestern sea zones.
Well, another stake. That's all the stakes. And
Dracula's
this
trail, rip. We know you well.
Yes, and that's what's really the problem for Sky, is that well, he's got to survive.
And there's no. We were talking earlier about the ability of the trail to create pressure on the hunters and pressure their decision making and their movement and their resources, and now that's all gone at this point, because even if he were to land today and put down a vampire, it's not going to make a difference by the end of the game. So they can pretty much just ignore the trail at this point, except for nasty things that are going to ambush them.
I mean, yes and no. They do have to. He does have to. I mean, if Dracula were to go Mediterranean and then go CAG, then since he would be at sea again, there would be some stuff that they might need to address, especially since he has to survive for 5 land moves.
Yeah. I don't know if Keg is the good. I think just the way the timings worked out, if he lands in Keg, I feel like it's not amazing for him because he'll be then going back to sea during his win period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go forming today. Okay. No money trail. No money trail. No money trail, please. Hunters don't have it. Just don't have the money trail.
I think that
all you've got going for you is.
I think best case scenario for them is. I think best case scenario for him is North Sea. And they just search too long trying to find something to discern which one it is and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I might be tempted to use CG now simply as a fancy hired scouts in a weird way.
But
I feel like CG is your most potent weapon.
The problem is he could be in Spain, he could be in Germany, he could be in England. Like, where do you see G? And yeah, you might get lucky and find out that he's there, but then what happens next?
Oh.
Yeah, here's
Ooh.
the real thing.
I would probably check Madrid. And
Gosh, where do you check? I'd be baffled. I just have to take a gamble on.
I would probably check Leipzig as well.
To Madrid or Leipzig, yeah.
Madrid, Manchester, maybe.
I don't know about Manchester.
If he's there, you
Uh,
kill him today, right? Like, if you don't find out he's in Manchester today, he can then go and hide by his Ivory.
It would
Like, if
maybe be nice to eliminate England and Ireland.
Because
it is interesting that he could actually be at Bordeaux.
Sure. He could
Well,
be. He could. Wait, is it a
that's
layer? Okay. Unlayer Bordeaux before you do the
Manchester
move.
and London.
Manchester and London? Okay.
I might have gone with Manchester and. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
It
actually, London makes some sense.
You could have wolfed
Yeah.
that for Irisy. Well, it looks like there is no money trail, but they are going to use their hired scout on demand here. Let's
I'm not
see.
surprised by that return at all.
Madrid.
As soon as
Yeah.
the Jonathan Harker, the first one, came out, I said, there's going to be a sequel.
It wasn't an unwanted remake.
No, the sequel
No.
was good. Yeah,
Sequel was good.
He came
Whoa.
out and checked Manchester. It was pretty cool.
Careful.
Dracula wasn't there, but
Nice playing.
still a good time.
I mean, I think if you don't have money trail, you need a Night Supply now. Like, this is do or die. If he because I mean, he could have been in 26 today. I might have wanted to do that surprising return at dusk or dawn rather than dusk. But maybe he hoped he would find him.
It doesn't matter all that much in terms of CG.
Well, he could move if he's found it at dawn, right?
Aggie.
Ooh. Okay, second. It's the third. It's the end of the trilogy. The third ally. What's he gonna do? Third ally search. Third ally.
Leipzig.
Found him in Leipzig. Who has CG? Does Mina still have CG?
I know she. Nope. Van Helsing has it. The one event
Okay.
he's holding on to.
Was that?
Well-
He searched with. He just nice supplied and got Aggie. Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a nun.
Feels
Feels
Okay.
bad for Dracula, right? It's just night supplies, gets Sister Agatha after
A
hired scouts.
13, 15. I mean, there's only 10 left, but the odds are, he's night supplied like 3 or 4 times. He should have drawn a Dracula by now.
Well, there are 15 in the discard, so it's a ratio. It's a less than 25%, a less than 33% chance.
Yeah, I'm saying over the course of the game, he's night supplied multiple times. Like, I think at some point along the way.
Rog.
Aruk, what are you referring to? What was my callback to the beginning?
That Prague is a little bit of a.
The Prague issue? Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's connected, but the road makes a big U-turn. It doesn't actually connect to Prague.
Yeah, whoopsies. You could have blocked Frankfurt as well.
Oh, yeah.
I love Frankfurt. That might be my favorite space.
You don't want to put it in Prague, yeah. But that being said, we know North Sea is on the trail, so it's not like you need to worry about him going to Hamburg and going back to sea. Oh, Jonathan Harker coming back, yeah.
I wouldn't put the permanent token in Leipzig because he can't move back there no matter what. I would have rather put it like maybe in Nuremberg permanent, somewhere that would actually restrict his movement on future turns.
Yeah, I would.
Already knew he was there.
I would have Nuremberg for that. Yeah.
Do you think he had that surprising return all the way back to when he drew Jonathan Harker?
That's my guess, but
I would not be all that surprised.
Because he ended up revealing newspaper reports anyway, right?
Yeah, and he drew Jonathan Harker pretty
We'll never
early.
really know until we ask him, because the evidence doesn't really indicate either way.
This is fine. Dracula surely has drawn one of his 2 fogs by now. He's just gonna go to, I don't know, Cologne. He's gonna play fog, and it's all gonna be okay, right? Right, Gyro? It's all gonna be okay.
I don't know about Cologne. Maybe Hamburg, because then the Heavenly Hosts will go off the trail, and you can go to Berlin, Prague.
I would go.
Like-
I would go Frankfurt.
But I mean, let's be real here. You're at 7 HP.
No, it's fine.
Wolfram is on the second space. It's about to be.
He's gonna be fine, Gyro. Okay, he's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be okay.
You monsters! Leave him alone! He's a blood-sucking maniac. Okay.
well, he's at least gonna get the minus some IDS from the hunters for surviving to week 4.
Look, you can fix him, Gyro. Okay, he just needs time.
He's gotten that much credit out of this.
Okay, come on, slow roll. Yes, yes. Okay.
That's very.
Sorry, I'm not biased. I'm impartial. That's unfortunate for the hunters there that he drew.
It was
yellow.
unfortunate, yes, but nonetheless, very amusing that it should happen now.
It was unfortunate, but nonetheless very amusing. That basically describes watching the hunters try to get Dracula.
Okay, now Mina, you just need to guess wrong, Mina, or guess right actually, and give us a good night fight. Come on.
Ooh, where is the Dracula?
I would just apply today.
The problem isn't
me,
tonight if you're Dracula. The problem is like the next 3 nights. You know?
Yeah, that's why I didn't really want to go back to Hamburg, because I feel like that kind of blocks you in.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you might score your 9 points here, but then heck, you might even score 12. But
I would.
I don't know. I don't know about 13. They're all.
I would
closing
lay it. I think what I would do is hide. It means yes, it means that you are right next to a hunter, at least one hunter, if not 2.
It could be in Hamburg right now. Could be in Hamburg and completely safe. I don't think he's in Hamburg though.
But
I would not hide, and the reason is because if I was the hunter player right now, I'm not actually trying to find Dracula on this next turn. I just want to figure out where he went after Leipzig, because then, like I said, in the next 2 nights we'll kill him.
which is kind of precisely why I would hide.
Well, I would try to move onto Frankfurt with either Seward or. I get your point. That's why you hide anyway, because hopefully you end up in a 1-on-1 or something like that. But what if he just
Yeah,
goes
possibly with a
Godalming?
fog.
What if Godalming just goes straight there?
Then you fog him.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I
gotta
think we
hope
need a
you
good
have
fog or a
it.
good night fight or something. Because there is no Agatha. That's kind of nice.
I mean, don't speak too soon. There is still one surprising return unspent. Somewhere.
True.
And it's not impossible that he has it.
I'm fine.
So-
I'm sure Strider definitely doesn't have it. And Dracula definitely drew both his fogs, and Dracula is sitting high and dry right now. Or not high and dry, he's sitting pretty. Okay? Great.
Yeah.
It's fine. He has nothing to worry about.
The game is-
Scott pointed out that you shouldn't have put the Heavenly Host in Prague. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, he
Might
just didn't
have
realize
been
he
Yeah.
wasn't corrected.
We're gonna find out if that's gonna cost him the game or not. Because if you put that down in Frankfurt instead, that leaves Dracula what? He would have to go to
He just.
Somebody's
I think he.
Cologne.
I think he's.
forced
I think
to.
he's just doing that for the sake of it.
Look, the snuff has pioneered a new. Okay, just guess wrong or guess right, and he hit in Hamburg or something, and you're gonna fog him.
Hey,
Come on.
I mean, if it
Come
gets
on.
the hunter to the city that they need to be, it is. Let's not forget that it is technically extra movement, right? And movement is one of the strongest things to have in this game, just like in most games, right?
Yeah, moving is pretty good.
Movement speed in every MOBA you've ever played is like completely
Yes.
overpowered, right?
Okay,
It's
so
the
he now
same
goes
in
in
this
Strasbourg,
game.
I think.
I like this. That was a
Yeah.
good time to roll bad.
That was
Good
a
job.
general bad. I mean, you could have maybe even just taken the train to Frankfurt.
And now move him, move Van Helsing possibly, and now move Mina into Strasbourg, so that if he's hit in Frankfurt, he can't go to Strasbourg. Next.
Mm.
Taking a very measured approach here.
Yes,
I think
I
it's
agree. I
entirely
think that's
right.
the right thing to do is take your time.
Oh, it
so
was
he did go to
Cologne.
Cologne after all. Which
Or
Well,
Hamburg.
either that or Hamburg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which means he's hiding in Hamburg, or he's hiding in
Or-
Cologne, or he's in
or
good old
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. But Brussels was checked. Mina was already in Brussels, right? Yeah. She
Yeah.
She just
Yeah.
went over there. So we've got Amsterdam, Cologne, or Hamburg, or
Strider's
he
taking
could
good
even be in
risk.
Berlin, right?
What? Oh,
He could have
Long
gone
night
Hamburg,
movement.
Berlin. That's
Strider,
good.
don't
No,
throw.
that's a good move because it makes sure that Dracula, if he's in Berlin, he can't move to Prague. And if he is
Yeah,
in
I suppose
Berlin,
that's not bad.
if he is there, then Godalming can move onto him possibly, or possibly take the train to Hamburg. Well, Dracula could be in Hamburg now. He could have gone
Cologne, Hamburg,
from
yeah.
Leipzig to Cologne to Hamburg. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I may consider doing a feed sometime soon. I mean, yes, that doesn't score points, but I mean, you do still have a rumored vamp right there, and you know that they use all the stakes before reshuffling the deck.
I kind of suspect he actually just went straight to Hamburg and then played the hide card.
Yeah, I'm only feeding here if I'm on my fog. That's the only
what
time
I
I'm
think.
feeding.
Yeah, if you've hidden that, be it Cologne or Hamburg, if you've hidden, then I would feed now.
If you got the fog.
Or
Yes,
possibly,
he has Brook. Yes, he has been lucky. At the bottom of the deck. Unfortunately.
Now what though? Feed won't gain you points, but it'll
He's
put you
doing
up
it.
to
No.
10, so you can go to C maybe, and then just go to England and win. Yeah, that's what
I hope he's not on the port right now, or I hope he
I mean,
went Cologne and then went to a port.
If he's in 27 right now feeding, it's simultaneously good and bad because they can get him. But
Come on,
if
no.
he's standing on fog,
We needed a low roll there. That's what we needed.
well, actually,
here he
if he's
is. Here
hiding
he is.
there,
I bet he's there. Yeah,
we will. Yeah,
I knew it.
that's actually good for Drac because Seward's
Yeah.
too far away to horse there.
Uh-huh.
It's reckless.
He could maybe just go to the North Sea, land in Edinburgh, no fuss, no muss.
He's got to stay on land one more time for that to happen. But yeah,
Why does he have to do that?
because North Sea's the last sea on the trail, right?
Oh, shucks, you're right. It's the one before Leipzig. He would have to Dark Call or something.
That's why I kind of hoped he wasn't hiding, but I think that the hide right now is pretty good.
Yeah. So far as we can tell, no. I mean, there could be a chart carriage. Mina is showing an excellent weather. Interesting.
Another point for Dracula.
Good old Reckless. That top hat wearing.
That actually changes the math.
Yes, that also changes the math a little bit.
Yeah, he could Dark Call.
If Leipzig gets through, then
What's on the hide card? He didn't ambush with it. It's got to be the fog, right?
Yeah. And by the way, Scotford, never say we never need Dark Call. Okay, let's be clear. We always have it because we never play it because it's bad. we don't need Dark Call. Okay, it's always there as an option. Just don't. He has Dark Call. I just don't know if he'll want to play it.
Yeah, shame no chartered carriage there. You could get Van Helsing there with.
Oh, is this a heroic leap trade?
Van Helsing and Godalming. Now, wouldn't that be something?
I mean, there's also possibility of
ambush.
There's also possibility that there's a what's it's called?
Damn,
Surprising return.
She didn't have a train ticket either. There's heroic leap.
Heroic leap.
If she'd had a white 3, she could have taken the train.
It's not good for the home team. That is not good. No, Skybreaker, you were so close.
And Godalming's just gonna heal tonight. Whereas Dracula, he can't do that. He has to find somebody's blood and suck it.
Look,
he already did that.
Maybe he didn't have fog, and this hide is a bluff, and he now moves and places the real fog down.
Or he has drawn both, and he still has the second one in hand.
That would be kind of wacky.
The issue is if he doesn't leave. If he leaves, then this hide will do nothing. But if in order to stay, he'd have to Dark Call, which is terrible. It would get him his fogs probably, but he'd have to fight Godalming at during the day with 3 HP.
Yeah. And
Granted,
then
no Agatha in play. He might actually be able to heal off of it, but he's
he's
doing it.
He's doing it. Oh my gosh. You're gonna be down to
Strider
1 health if you go to the North Sea.
Strider prides
Do you
himself on
realize what
his
that
Dracula play.
means?
On his not Dracula play, combat, I should say. It means he could land in England immediately and hang out.
And
It means he can't move by sea.
but that means if Godalming does a
Land
single point of
ambush.
damage to you, it's over.
well, apart from walking into Berlin.
Well, I mean, yeah, now he's dead. If Godalming has knife Heavenly Host, he's gone. And he does have Heavenly Host. He's been holding it the whole game, and he had a knife in the beginning, and he didn't discard it then. So I think Dracula is just dead. I think he's just
Yeah,
dead now.
thanks to planned ambush.
Fang the host, or strength the knife and then fang the host. Yeah.
Well, no, because
Well,
he's
except
planned
there's
ambush,
planned
right?
ambush
Play
here.
whatever he doesn't.
Oh,
Whatever
yeah.
he doesn't counter, he'll just put
Here-
in.
Here's Strider. I
this-
bet he's about to hit him with the GG. I wouldn't be surprised.
Are you sitting on fog? Oh, GG! I
I
know
know
what you.
it's coming.
He's seen the writing on the wall. No.
Everyone just starts looking at each other like,
No. Skybreaker, you were my hope. Don't fail. Somehow.
Nice job,
These
Strider.
Striders. Maybe
Good
Striders
job.
could-
Good. Hey, this was a great game.
Yes.
This
yes,
was
it
one
was.
of those good ones where
It
Dracula's
was a good
Yeah,
game.
Dracula scored a
almost
reasonable
got
amount.
away. He almost got away. Yeah, there's only 4 points on the board, but that doesn't tell the whole story at all.
LR.
I think that's a typo, lucky find.
Oh, because R is next F. Yeah. Okay, let's see it. Oh, I was dodging. Actually, let me open my trench coat. Bam! See this flower? I'm gonna spritz it.
Hey,
Water's
we got
gonna fall
something
on
right
you.
here for you, pal. Nice. Well played.
Yep. G. GG. Eva able.
Man, it was a good game. I'm just sad
It
Skybreaker didn't
was.
win.
It was a heck of a good
game,
game,
though.
actually.
I can't get invested like that. It just makes me sad when they don't win. I gotta remain impartial for future games. On that.
Yeah, but Dracula's been on such a tear, man. Like I
Well, if you root for Dracula so much, Beats Wizard, stick around for. I need to get going as in only 13 minutes I am scheduled to play as Dracula against Mr. Green. If you want to see a Dracula win, I will do my best to oblige you.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, Fangs of Fire. Good luck in your match.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
So, what do you think, Pizza Wizard? Where did you think Dracula went wrong? The hide in Toulouse? Or was it encounter management? Or what do you think?
I think the encounter management was actually stellar. I was very impressed when because I looked to see if he had layered the thing after Munich because I thought, oh, maybe it was coincidence, but then I saw that he had not layered it, which speaks to me of a very there's a definite intent there, right? Because you would by default layer everything, and the fact that he didn't to keep it this deck from reshuffling, that really spelled out to me that he was doing it on purpose, which was a really smart play on his part. Honestly, I think going north instead of going south was his mistake. I think you're in Bordeaux, you just go into Spain. Maybe it's obvious you're going into Spain, but if you leave from the Spanish Sea, you then can make it look like you're going back to the east, which again, their movement is bad. If they have to go all the way back to the east to try to get you, because you can wolf form to Sofia and their CG can't kill you out of there, I think that's a better alternative than either Spain, than the obfuscation you had from the English channel where it's either Spain or it's Germania or it's England. I think that going from Spain, you could have England, you could have Ireland, you could have, because you can move 3 sea spaces and get to England, Ireland, Germania, you could get to, you could go all the way. You could get to everywhere through sea spaces from the South Atlantic.
Better place to leave from without having to move by sea quite as much, and maybe he wouldn't have been so weakened for the final confrontation. Might have had one more good chance to get away.
I think unfortunately he probably still has to move 3 sea spaces just to be able to threaten that he went to Ionian, but
maybe there'd have been some more significant trail in Spain for them to deal with.
Yeah, or
it's
even
a tough game. It's a tough game for Dracula.
Yeah.
You know they have CG at the very beginning. They get on top of your trail. The hoax doesn't mature. The vampire doesn't mature. It's a tough spot to be in.
And just honestly, just like them get like long nighting around and night supplying like 3 times and never drawing a Dracula event, I feel like that would be. I'd feel a little bit like fate was against me there.
Right. Sometimes
No,
it just
they
doesn't
also
fall
rolled
out in
poorly
your
on
favor.
horses. They did lose a horse immediately, so
Mhm,
the luck was
mhm.
like. I think honestly, the luck does balance out a little bit. Obviously, you have some games where it's like the luck component is massive, and you have other games where it's like both sides are unlucky, both sides are pretty lucky. I think that you gotta take what comes to you, right? Like if you like, I had a game where I think both Renewed Vigors and CGs, and both Renewed Vigor and the CG were in the bottom 18 cards of the event deck, and I lost that game. But I think I had chances to win that game, and I think that just pointing at that number and being like, I lost because I had bad luck, is not the right attitude to have.
Right.
Obviously, it's better if you draw the Renewed Vigor and the CG, but if you're not drawing those things, you're drawing other things, right? Like, I think I discard an Excellent Weather because I had so many events, I was like, I don't need Excellent Weather over, like, some other things. And I think if I had not discarded the Excellent Weather and shown Dracula that I didn't have an Excellent Weather anymore, that game could have turned out very differently. So I think that luck definitely plays a factor. I think focusing on the luck to the exclusion of the decisions you're making is a decision that will not let you grow as a player. You will just remain fixated on the thing you can't change rather than the things that you can.
Right. And it's not also just a matter of like how the cards fell out. Strider did a really good job, right? Your opponent
he did.
didn't make too many mistakes for you to capitalize on, and a big part of the Dracula play is capitalizing on the other guy's mistakes.
I think that's true as well. I think that oftentimes we will overlook the fact that the other player played well to take advantage of whatever lucky misfortune you had or whatever. Or like if they're working to capitalize on that, that is good play by them.
Right.
That is not you being unlucky. Well, maybe it's you being a little bit unlucky, but it's also them exploiting the opportunities they have.
Right.
Right. So.
Well,
I don't know.
On that word, we'll leave you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Scott Sword, Arukamania, Jordy, everybody who tuned in. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here, Pizza Wizard. Had a great time.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, and maybe I'll see about streaming the next one. We'll take a look.
Oh, right. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
yeah, I'll let you know. All right, everybody, we'll be signing